Advancing Artificial Intelligence with Video Games. I'm Tonya Hall, and joining me is Dr. Danny Lange, Vice President of AI at Unity Technologies. Welcome, Danny.
Thank you for having me.
So, what does Unity Technologies do? And give us a brief summary of your past, your background, and the work that you do at Unity.
Yeah, so Unity Technologies, we have built a video game engine. We're the most popular engine in the world for building video games. There are thousands and thousands of games built on the Unity platform. Um, I'm running the AI team here. We use Unity, the game engine, to develop AI, and we also use AI in game development. Um, Before Unity, I was head of machine learning at Uber, where I built the company-wide machine learning system for Uber. Before that, general manager at Amazon, where I also did machine learning. And before that, Microsoft and IBM, I did machine learning as well.
You gave a talk at the 2019 Tech Open Air Conference in Berlin on the topic of advancing artificial intelligence through video games. So, you started off by identifying 5 skills that drive the need for natural intelligence. Summarize them for us and how they relate to video games.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good question. Um, so out in the wild nature, there are really 5 principles that drives the need for biological intelligence as we know it. And it's the need for food, the need for energy, that's one of them. It's also the need to avoid becoming energy or food for someone else while out looking for food. So those are the 2 first principles. The third is basically that you have to watch out for physics. Physics can be really harmful to you. And I mean, like if you try to pick an apple and you fall down and break the neck, that's not good, yeah? Um, and then you have to also uh, utilize agency, which is the ability to create nests. And then, of course, you have to be able to procreate. You don't live forever, and you have to have your species to carry on. Those are the 5 principles, and nature kind of fight those principles. Yeah, we need to survive, and therefore we need intelligence in nature. Yeah. And those principles are very important when we take them into video gaming as well. Because if you have played a video game recently, and if you think about it, it has all these, one or more of these elements in it. Yeah, this is about survival, about finding something, earning something, to keep being in the game, etc. So if you think about nature and you think about video gaming, you realize they have a lot in common.
Okay, Danny. How did a chicken teach itself to cross a road in a game situation? How do you test subjects in self-learning games? How do your test subjects, I should say, in self-learning games figure out what matters?
Yeah. So what we do is, of course, we set up these rewards functions, and then we have self-learning algorithms like reinforcement learning. Yeah. So it's given a rewards function, which for the chicken's case is sort of cross the road. Yeah. And then these algorithms, they basically start from scratch and they learn by trial and error. And of course, we have great capacity, compute capacity, so we can try over and over millions of times and learn that way. But and it's very similar, back to the nature question here, it's very similar to what you do in nature, what happens in learning and happens in evolution in nature. Yeah, it is the big numbers game. It's trying over and over, and in that sense, behavior evolve.
How does the type of reward determine the effectiveness of the learning model?
Yeah, the rewards function is magic. Uh, Sometimes if you give the wrong reward, you get unwanted behavior. Sometimes you think really deeply about the reward function and you think it's trivial, and then you see the system learning all kinds of cheats to reap that reward. So it's actually a very difficult task, and it's a task that is very different from programming. It's a task that is much more oriented towards how do I make a system, how can I achieve something through this reward? And you have to have some very creative thinking from time to time.
In nature, it takes eons to run enough models to But computers can run those models in an hour, right?
Yeah, so computers, we can cheat a bit. Yeah. Number one, we can run faster than what we call wall clock time. Yeah, I don't have to run at human real time. I can run at if you think about a video game at frames per second, I can run at thousands of frames per second. Yeah, I can run on many computers in parallel. And also, when I train these systems, the individual, the individual, the computer doesn't really die. Yeah, you can always save what you learned. You can actually wind it back and restart at an earlier point in time. You can do a lot of things that nature can do. So I would actually claim that in certain aspects, at a sufficient scale, we're actually competing with nature when we evolve these systems.
So, what should business leaders take from these experiments when they seek to introduce or incorporate AI into their products or services or even internal operations?
I think what they should see in some of these experiments that we have done, they should see how smart these systems get at solving for very specific rewards functions. Yeah, the systems get surprisingly smart about it. You know, it's not like a software engineer implements any of these solutions. Yeah, it's the system itself that tries over and over. And what they find often is loopholes. They find smart solutions to problems we haven't really seen a solution to, and they often are able to find tools that can help them achieve the rewards function. So I think what businesses should learn is that these systems have the potential to be really smart at finding ways to do things that we as humans did not necessarily see.
Thanks again, Dr. Danny Lang, Vice President of AI at Unity Technologies. If somebody wants to connect with you, Danny, what's the best way they can do that?
The best way is probably Danny Lang on LinkedIn or Danny Lang, my Twitter handle.
All right. Thanks again, Danny. And if you guys want to find more of my interviews, you can do that right here or go to tonyahall.net. Thanks for watching.